the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
As Noel eats Cheez-Its.
It's not happening.
He's not eating Cheez-Its.
No, it's not happening.
Not at all.
Because I'm
Sweet Cheez-Its.
not supposed to eat Cheez-Its.
Oh, well then you're definitely not eating them on a show that's seen by thousands of people.
There's actually,
Dried oranges.
I actually would get in a lot of trouble
Yeah, would you?
if anybody found out
All right, Veronica.
that I was eating these Cheez-Its.
Veronica, right now, you and I have to make a promise. We will never tell a soul about Noel eating Cheez-Its right now.
Never
Don't-
ever.
A vow?
A vow.
Because
Never,
I
ever.
haven't been pretty good about not eating them.
We take this to the grave. Don't you worry. Your secret is safe with me.
Thanks, man.
On this show.
Yeah?
Right?
Yes. Yes, of course.
My secret is safe.
Your secret is safe.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know.
Oh, fantastic.
That's the kind of
Thanks, guys. I trust you.
That's the kind of loyalty you get in a, podcast that's been on the air for 3.5 years.
Yeah, wow, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Pretty much. Close. Maybe I'm overselling it by that half mark. Maybe it's like 3 years and 3 months or something like that. But we're getting doggone close to 3.5 years.
And I've never eaten Cheez-Its.
Never.
The entire time.
I've never witnessed it ever, and nor are you eating them right now.
No,
No.
Definitely not.
because they're bad for me.
Hey guys, I think it's so cool that we wore the exact same thing we wore on last show. Like, how funny that we came into work today wearing the same clothes as the last show.
Last week.
Yeah, last week.
You're wearing cool colors today.
Seems like a lifetime ago. Yeah, well,
we are
he's
doing cool colors, right?
Noel's wearing his burnt orange, which is his. This is kind of becoming Noel's signature color.
That's my signature color.
I'm starting to think of it
It
as your
is.
signature color. Like, if I see something that's that color, I'm like, that's a Noel color. And here's the crazy thing: Jamie just recently bought me a long sleeve that is literally this color. Is it okay if I wear
You're
it?
going to have to take it back.
Do I have to take it back?
Yeah.
Can I? How about this? How about I just wear it, but all day I give you credit for it.
Okay.
So like all day long, people will be like, "Nice shirt." I'll be like, "It's really Noel's color."
This is not my shirt.
Look. Have you heard of leasing before? I'm leasing this color. I just wanted to take it for a spin.
Okay.
But the real magic belongs to this guy.
So long as I get credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
you
fine.
get credit.
Yeah.
So I bought that shirt right before.
I'm going to give you a Creative Commons license.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Creative Commons.
to use that shirt. So basically, so long as
As long as you get credit for it.
yeah, just to make sure you credit the source.
I got that shirt. Jamie got it for me, and then I went to Texas. And in Texas, for my trip, I wore it on the first day. And the thing about that shirt is moisture. When you're in a hot climate.
Do you have a moisture wicking version of the shirt?
No, it is not.
well.
It's the opposite of wicking.
Oh.
It's moisture thickening. And I looked ridiculous. You can ask your brother. We were
Yeah.
walking outside, and it looked like I'd taken the shirt, and I dunked it in water, and I put it on me, and I was walking around. I was like, it's a beautiful city. Oh.
Wow.
It was soaking wet
Yeah.
because it was so. Not only is it hot there, but it's humid. It's like the air was really, really thick as we were walking
And
around
it was a
outside.
long sleeve?
It's a long sleeve. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
my
yeah,
kryptonite.
Yeah. What were you doing?
Like if I was a super, like look at me right now. I'm
And
literally-
black, too.
Yeah, black.
Why were you wearing that shirt
Why was I wearing that
in
shirt?
that situation? In
I
those
traveled in it.
circumstances?
I traveled in it, and then I think we arrived, and I like walked outside, and we were just kind of like we went to dinner, and then I was like, man, I really probably should have when we checked in the
Right.
hotel, I should have changed clothes.
You were dealing with airplane weather. Like
Yes.
you were in like I'm in a freezing airplane. I'm going to wear
Yes.
clothes that are good for the airplane.
Yes.
And then you got off, and suddenly it was Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. That 100%. Because when you travel, you have to take into consideration, like if you're on a plane, it could be the Arctic on the plane. You don't know. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold.
Yeah.
But you got to come with like layers.
You gotta
a little
layer
bit.
up,
You got to
baby.
layer up. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to know that. So
Thank you.
glad you joined me for that story about me sweating.
This was a
in
good
Austin.
story.
This
This
is
was
really,
a
really, really good
this is a
story.
quality.
This is a fire podcast we're kicking off
Information.
here. Yeah, absolutely. Well, should I dig in? Should we dig in right away, or do we got
Let's.
more nonsense to get to?
Well, if we do too much nonsense, then people are going to tune out.
You're right.
Because we're not interesting.
Okay. I'm going to throw this one out hard.
Throw it out
Ready?
hard.
Bees are now fish. We broke Noel. Guess who's behind this? Take a wild guess. He's still broken. I'm just going to start reading and see if I can snap him out of it. And an only in California decision, of course. Another news article where they're ripping into. He's He's still frozen. If you watch the show.
Wait, what?
And he's back. He's back.
I'm sorry. I thought you said that bees were fish.
Bees are fish.
Ah.
Well, here it is. Here it is. Ready? In an only in California decision,
Oh, God.
an appeals court in the Golden State has ruled that some types of bees are now legally considered to be fish. Well, no. There's a good reason.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Okay. The head-scratching decision by the California Court of Appeals was hailed by proponents as a win for the bumblebees.
A win.
Because
Thank God.
This is a loophole. That's what this is.
So they're trying to save bumblebees with a loophole.
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right, let's
this
hear
is a legal loophole. So they're not really saying they're fish. They just looked at the laws and they went, we can't get them to protect the dadgum bees. How do we do it? So here it comes.
Okay.
And it reversed a lower court's ruling in favor of agricultural interests who argued the state's Endangered Species Act protected only birds, mammals, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and plants, not bees or other bugs. So there was an Endangered Species Act, and they didn't include bugs or bees. All these other species were in there,
Why
but not
wouldn't
bees.
we include invertebrates?
Exactly. So the decision was a victory for the environmental groups and the state's Fish and Game Commission, which had pushed the list of 4 bumblebee species as endangered. The court, in its opinion, gave the commission the right to list invertebrate species, like the bees, as endangered, even if they're not aquatic animals. So basically, it says the judges wrote, although the term fish is colloquially and
Colloquially?
colloquially.
think
Yes,
it's
colloquial.
colloquially.
Yeah, one more time. I got it.
Cholera.
Yeah. Colloquially, right? Colloquially. Like
Liquidly.
colloquially. Colloquially. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Colloquially. Okay. The term fish is colloquially and commonly understood to refer to aquatic species. The law makes the legal definition of fish not so limited. That's all this is. I just thought I wanted to break you for a second. Oh,
Second week in a row.
You're not allowed to cough the second week in a row.
Okay.
Cheez-Its are supposed to not.
I know.
make you cough.
I ate them in order. I didn't eat them in order to save the. To
I just
clear
broke our promise.
my- God, cry it out loud.
I vowed on my life. I pinky swore.
Talia, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. She wouldn't have found out if I hadn't just said it.
Talia, I ate Cheez-Its.
Jesus Christ.
I ate Cheez-Its. They were in the snack room, and I had something in my throat, and I just wanted to get something rough to eat and throw
Yeah, everybody
down
knows
there,
you
and
wash
they were
down
really
rough things with Cheez-Its.
tasty. Well, I just wanted some roughage. I wanted to
Yeah.
clog my throat with
Yeah.
flavor.
Hey, in your defense, you did not put the Cheez-Its there. They just appeared.
They just appeared.
Yeah, this building comes with Cheez-Its.
Not my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
No,
Yeah.
it's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Everybody
Other-
knows that when we moved in, they said, by the way, we
there's
got
a-
kind of a Cheez-It problem. Pardon? Like, what do you mean? Well, you know how some buildings have infestation of like bugs or termites. We have a Cheez-It problem. You just will open your cabinets.
We tried to ban them, but legally they're categorized as fish, so
categorize
we
as
can't get rid of them.
There you go. So this doesn't bother you though, does it?
No, I don't. I will look. Okay.
It's just a loophole. Like somebody was
doesn't-
like, save bees, and they were like, well, technically they're not endangered, and the guy was like, can we just list them as fish so that we can protect the bees?
So here's my guess at how it went. I don't know this. Didn't read the article. Here's my guess.
Okay.
Is that the bees are dying from insecticides?
Yes.
So something that they're putting on the agriculture,
Right.
in order to kill off little tiny mites and things that eat up the food and mess it up,
Right.
also kills the bees.
Yes.
And so they have a loophole already written in that says we're not including invertebrates because that's what we're literally trying to kill.
Yes, because we're trying to make all these things grow.
Right. And so they didn't think about the fact that bees might go indeed extinct because of this. And so they're trying to be like, I don't want to stop putting my chemicals on the food, so you can't protect your bees, so I'm sorry, we're not going to stop doing this. And then someone was like, that's baloney because if something's endangered, it's endangered and we should stop killing it. And then it seems like instead of updating the law or changing it so that these bees are protected specifically, despite the act, which is what I think I would have done.
Yeah.
A judge said, well, we're going to categorize them as
As fish.
fish.
Right. But I think it really,
Right?
this wags the finger a little bit at like how complicated or full of red tape are passing things to protect things. You know what I mean? Like somewhere along the way, somebody said, we got to protect the bees. And the guy from Big Pesticide,
You know him.
Big Pesticide went
His
like this.
mustache is
He
huge.
went like this. He went, good luck trying to pass a law. It'll take you a decade. And by that time, all the bees will be gone. And he's curling his mustache. And he's like, good luck. The American judicial system is a nightmare. There'll be people trying to pronounce the word colloquially for hours. So that's what happened.
And he was right.
And they went to the judge, and he was like, look, I want to protect the bees, but this guy's right. It's going to take a long time to pass it through. Right. And they went, what can you do? And he said,
Let's call it a fish.
let's call it a fish. Let's call it a fish.
Let's call it a fish.
Just call it a fish.
This is like in a film.
It is.
Like in a
It
classic.
is. This is like a movie.
We can call it a fish.
fish. Call it a fish, and the bees are saved. So bee movie is now fish movie.
Fish movie.
Yeah.
I think end result. I'm glad that we're protecting endangered bees.
Okay.
End result.
You like the outcome.
I love the outcome. I'm in 100%.
Okay.
This is fantastic.
Yes.
I'm glad we figured out a solution.
Yes.
I am aggravated beyond control
Okay.
that you can't just call the dang thing what it is.
Okay.
And protect the fucking bees.
You.
I didn't get beeped last week.
You didn't get beeped last week, but you did get beeped this week. I did. I said a word last week that I think I know Jacob was a little naughty last time.
Jacob.
But this week, Noel went for the full. He
No.
went for the full Carol.
Oh, yeah.
I went full Carol.
full Carol.
I went full
Full
Carol on that one.
That's the term now.
I'm sorry.
No.
I shouldn't have sworn, but I do. I
You're
just
frustrated.
It's obvious, right? If something's endangered, it's endangered. You should protect it. Like we shouldn't be doing things that kill off something. And if there's if something is categorized so that you can make it easier to produce food, well then we should just change the categorization a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they can't keep doing their mite murder.
Yeah, I agree.
I know.
I agree.
So that's why I'm end result happy.
Yeah.
But it's another example of the fact that we can't do anything in this.
Right.
In this
I know. Well,
dadgum country. or
it
state.
says, so these are, I think these are the culprits right here.
Okay.
It says, however, the Almond Alliance of California, the California Farm Bureau Federation, and 5 other agriculture groups filed a lawsuit in Sacramento County Superior Court in a bid to clarify that CESA does not protect insects. So I think those are the bad guys.
Yeah, they are the bad guys. Of course.
Bad guys.
They're
Big
the reason
almond.
They're the reason we don't have any water.
Right. So if you want to track anybody down, those are the ones.
Yeah, if you want to go vigilante style.
If you want to go vigilante, if you want to go bee fish
If
man.
there's one thing we definitely encourage and endorse in this show,
Vigilante.
it is vigilante justice.
Oh no, the cops are gonna visit our show.
So-
They're gonna be like, look, you guys have been on for 3.5 years, but you just inspired a bunch of young people to go take the law into their own hands and go get the almond people.
God, I hope that our audience knows that we joke around.
We
a little
do
bit.
joke. We're joking.
We don't actually encourage vigilante justice.
No, we don't. We're kidding. We were kidding. We were kidding.
Unless the mask is super cool.
then it's okay.
Yeah. And the gadgets are great.
Yeah. And if you're bee man, you're also fish man.
Ooh.
You're both.
You can fly. You,
can
can swim.
fly,
You
you
can
can
breathe
swim.
underwater. You can breathe above water.
Yeah. So that's that story.
Okay.
Okay. We're moving right along.
We did it.
We're doing it. Okay. This is interesting.
Uh-huh.
These aprons absorb CO2.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting, right? Wearable tech could transform the restaurant industry. Okay. These are aprons.
Okay.
Okay. We're back with Remy the rat. And this time he's wearing an apron that absorbs CO2. A restaurant in Stockholm, Sweden is asking staff to wear aprons that capture greenhouse gas from the air. So just their aprons.
Yeah.
You were enthusiastic at first, and now you don't like it anymore. He's
Go
already
ahead.
like,
No, sorry. Go ahead. My enthusiasm may change.
Noel never likes my stories.
It's not true.
Sometimes.
That's not-
10% of the time.
That's not.
You
Didn't I
normally-
like one last week?
I don't know.
Didn't you talk about a duck or something?
You're
There's got to be something I like about you.
These aprons were produced in a pilot scheme developed by H&M.
H&M.
Backed researchers as the fashion industry struggles to lower its climate impact. The Hong Kong Research Institute of Textiles and Apparel, the HKRITA, the Hakrita. I don't know. I don't think that's how you pronounce that. Developed the chemical process. It comes in the form of an amine Am I saying that right? Amine? A-M-I-N-E? Amine?
Oh.
Like amine?
Yeah, I don't remember how to pronounce
Yeah,
that.
so a form of amine containing...
Amina.
Amina?
But, yeah.
Okay, so I'll say that. It comes in the form of an amina-containing solution, which is used to treat cotton, fiber, yarn, or fabric, making the material pull carbon dioxide towards it and capture it. This then stabilizes it and stores it on the surface of the textile. That's actually kind of cool.
That's neat.
A piece of fabric that pulls CO2. So many power plants have to scrub as much carbon dioxide as they can out of the air before the exhaust is released. We thought, why don't we try to replicate that chemical process on a cotton fiber? So once the apron is able to absorb about a third of what a tree absorbs per day. That's pretty cool. On a couple guys in a restaurant.
Couple guys absorbing some CO2 on their aprons.
I mean, I don't know. It's a neat thing. What if all of our fashion had that? What if everything we wore absorbed CO2? Like clothes in general.
I mean, it could be great, I guess, if our clothes are absorbing CO2.
All of our clothes absorb CO2.
Okay, but then
what do you do with the CO2?
Then what happens now with the clothes that are filled up with CO2? What do we do with them? What happens next? Like what happens next?
You put them in the toilet and then you flush them and then it gets transferred. No, I have no idea.
It gets transferred into water.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can figure out what happens next. Okay.
Yeah.
The capturing capacity isn't super high, but this is quite inexpensive to produce and quite easy, and we think there are a lot of potential applications. Okay. So let's see. In the restaurant, after the aprons, here it is. Mm-hmm. After the aprons are used, they are heated 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. Mm-hmm. At this high temperature, they release the CO2 they were storing, and this is then used in the restaurant's greenhouse to feed the plants.
No. We're not going to be putting clothes on everybody that absorbs CO2.
Okay, so we can't do that, but can we do it in the restaurant?
We can do it in the restaurant. If they have a greenhouse that they can use the CO2, then what the heck?
Yeah.
Alternatively,
what's your alternative?
H&M could change their business policy so that they make clothes that last longer.
Yeah.
From materials that are of higher durability.
Yeah.
And maybe hire, more adult workers. And
I think you're onto something.
And we could sort of change the way we handle our fashion industry. That's alternatively.
You're saying, so what I think Noel's hinting at here, and this is what I just glanced down and I saw, and this is what I think you're saying. Yeah. Fashion giants are under increasing pressure to address the enormous carbon footprint they produce as shoppers become more aware.
Yeah.
And it says Swedish fast fashion chain H&M has been severely criticized for its huge negative impact on the environment.
Yeah.
But the H&M Foundation claims...
Once you start a foundation, everything's okay.
Everything goes away. Yeah. Claims the innovation could potentially be a game changer in the reduction of global CO2 emissions. So
it couldn't.
No, exactly. So here's what we're dealing with. H&M...
Do people know what a game changer is? Do people understand the definition of a game changer?
No. It's not a game changer. So what we're experiencing here is H&M, good on you for trying to come up with a textile or fabric that absorbs CO2. But we need to look a few layers past the clothes. We need to get naked with H&M. And we need to say, H&M, are you just trying to cover your butts with carbon capturing fabric because your process that you use to make clothes is real bad? And this is a way that you can spin your PR, right? That's the question?
You preach.
I'm saying this is what Noel's saying all the time, but I'm saying this is you look at this and you go, okay, here's an article that says restaurant in Stockholm, Sweden is wearing aprons that absorb CO2, and you're like, oh, that's so neat. Who's behind it? H&M. Well, now everybody's like, oh, H&M, aren't they those ones that are trying to capture? They care about the environment. They're trying to capture carbon from restaurants and put it in the greenhouse in the restaurant. And then you realize, you go, yeah, but this is a company that has a lot of bad things, and so.
Yeah, a lot of gimmicks.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting gimmicky.
Are we going to get environmentally gimmicky?
I think in general, a lot of these companies are getting environmentally gimmicky.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to make a gimmick that works in a really specific situation to reduce a frankly tiny amount of carbon.
Yeah.
It's not what we're asking for. What we're asking for is incremental, hopefully large increments, but incremental change towards a more sustainable way of living.
A circular economy, a circular system. Everything is sustainable and feeding itself, and not come up with. So our message here today is don't be environmentally gimmicky.
Don't be gimmicky.
Don't be gimmicky. Is that a tag?
That's a tag.
Don't be gimmicky.
Don't be. Maybe should we put environment in there? Don't be environmentally gimmicky.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
That's going in.
Write that down.
Do
We're gonna
not
forget
forget.
that.
Don't be environmentally gimmicky.
Don't be environmentally. That's going to be your tag.
Okay.
Go back to you.
Boy, that's a tongue twister too. Can you say it? Listen to this a couple times fast. Ready? Environmentally gimmicky. Environmentally gimmicky. Environmentally.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
See?
That's magic.
Environmentally gimmicky.
Yeah. Oh,
Gimmicky?
Gimmicky. Yeah.
I would like to make a public statement in defense of Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do? Am I getting canceled?
I think a lot of people said bad things about Jacob recently. No.
Endless amount of emails and faxes that we've been getting at Biofriendly.
Faxes
they've been just people sending in
I got a
middle
telegram.
fingers.
I got a telegram yesterday that you would have cried.
Just give this to Jacob.
It would have just,
Jacob is terrible. Stop. He needs to be fired. Stop.
No.
What were you going to say?
No, what I was going to say is I don't hate your story.
No, I didn't. I didn't say hate.
I don't. When you say he doesn't like what I bring, I love what you bring because you're bringing something that brings up interesting discussion.
You're right.
What I don't love is I can't believe that a libertarian jerk off like me, at least from where I came from,
Right.
at how much doing this show and having this job has definitely changed me.
Yes.
I'm not I don't know. I'm not an extremist still, and I'm not. And I still have a lot of my same kind of feelings about things. But boy, have I soured on corporate America and the corporate international deal a lot over the last 3 years, because you can see how when the goal is to make efficiency based on dollars, that you come up with solutions that that help that one thing. They make that one thing work really well, and sometimes it's great, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the foods, like we wouldn't have food right now if not for innovations in fertilizer. Like we'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of humanity would be dead.
Yeah.
So there's some incredible things that have come because people have been inventive and they found a way to market it, and they've done a good job of getting really efficient at making stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think it's got, and that's where the libertarian in me is like, great, man, look at how the system works, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that if you don't account for more things and you don't force people to account for more things, then you don't ever actually solve the problem. And we can come up with all sorts of neat new inventions that can then be marketed, branded, and sold for your taxable dollars to governments all over the place that kind of mask the problem or do a minor job of solving the problem, but don't actually do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry if we need to beep again.
Yeah, it's all right. It's one of those shows.
Then it frustrates me.
Yeah.
About how the system works.
Yeah.
So that's how I've kind of changed in the last little while. Is that I wouldn't have said that probably 4 years ago. I'd say, well, just keep getting more efficient. Let's keep getting better at it. Let's keep making things better. And I think we can. I just don't think that we're punishing these companies financially enough for not taking into account that nature exists and that we should do a better job of working with it. And that isn't always just carbon footprint. We constantly are hammering in on CO2. There's so much more going on.
Yes.
That we have to look at and we have to take into account.
Yeah.
And we don't.
That's true.
And it drives me friggin' nuts.
It does. It does. And I mean, the thing, to your point, which I think that it just popped in my head. Yeah, preach, says Veronica.
Preach.
Yeah, preach. The thing that popped in my head as you were talking was, this is one thing I've realized, is at the beginning of the show, I talked about how long we've been on the air and how long we've been digging up articles. Mm-hmm. And when this show began, it was really hard to find positive articles that are environmental because it was always doom and gloom.
Yeah.
But you want to know the most interesting thing is the tide is changing, but in some ways it's not better because there's more hype being put in the news about green. There's more hype, there's more marketing, there's more money being spent on selling a green message. And so you're going to have good stories in there. You're going to have good stories, but it means it's going to be a lot harder to spot the ones that are actually the real efforts in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder to see it.
I mean, look, it's here's the problem is that our smartest minds go where they get paid.
Right.
Right? So you've got really bright people coming up with really clever solutions for the companies they work for.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the planet.
Yeah.
Okay? So, in part of that, you get this wonderful spin department that a lot of so many of these companies are excellent. I mean, devilishly excellent.
At spin.
At convincing you that they've got it under control, they've got this thing fixed, they can sort this thing out, and at distracting you with things that don't actually matter.
Yeah.
Right? Like the corporate social and environmental score that you
get.
Right?
Yeah. What's that thing where you rank businesses on how ESG
scores?
ESG scores. Yeah.
Yeah. So what a fascinating crock.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
What a wonderful little way to convince people that they're putting their money in good companies and in good. But I'll give you an example that's a little painful to probably hear, but it is what it is. If you're Amazon as an example, and this is more of a social one than an environmental one, although they get a lot of points for being good for the environment and good socially, right? And they're very supportive of Black Lives Matter, and they'll plaster that everywhere everywhere that they can, and they'll be very, very good about letting you know that they agree with that statement and they feel strongly that that's a great statement,
right?
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Don't tell it to me. Show it to me.
Right.
So then what happens the moment that you get unions that are trying to be made in different areas that are predominantly black?
Right.
They go in and they union bust illegally, using tools that they're not allowed to use,
right?
Doing things that are not supposed to do, in order to actively destroy the opportunity for people, mostly of color,
yes,
who are trying to work together to get a better wage, better working conditions, and have a better situation. So let me tell you, what should be rated higher on an ESG score? You putting a banner on your I'm going to stop swearing, on your website?
Mm-hmm.
Or you allowing people to bargain for better wages so that they can have their share of the trillions that Amazon makes.
Yeah. This is the thing that we see in everybody makes fun of. We're in June, which is Pride Month, and all these companies that slap a rainbow and say this, and we're Pride this, Pride that, and you go, are you really though, or is that just marketing spin? Is that just to virtue signal and say we're all in this one team? Like, what's really going on behind closed doors and getting you that ESG score? Are you really doing the thing that you say that you're doing?
What do you do as a company? Don't spin me.
Yeah, don't spin me. Yeah, and that's your concern.
The environment works the same way.
Yeah, it does, and that's what your point here all leads back to, which is the more and more corporations and companies are involved and have their hands in where there's dollars to be made, it gets a little bit more untrustworthy.
It's a fantastic scam.
Yeah.
That's what it's become. They've taken something very important. Things, both social justice and the environment, are things that are very important.
Yeah, and they're learning that people will spend more money on it because they hear these environmental buzzwords.
They support it. They're part of it. They're doing this environmental thing. Oh, they care. They care about these people.
We are spilling the tea on this episode. This is one of those ones where if you made it to the second half, we broke down kind of the dangerous things that are happening in the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, again, I can't believe I'm saying it. I don't know. 4 years ago, I would have.
I know. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, pal.
It's good stuff. I love it. Yeah. I love it. You know, it's true because you really do need to look behind the curtain. You do need to see, the great Wizard of Oz or whatever that is pretending to be so powerful and mighty, and it's really just a scared old man. And so it's one of those things that people need to find ways to make money, and they are figuring out that cleaning up and saving the planet is a moneymaker. And that's good and bad.
It's a moneymaker If they do it the way they want to do it.
Yeah, if they do it the way they want to do it. Exactly.
Will it work?
Exactly. It's like, look.
Will we save the bees?
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing is I think that it could be a moneymaker for the good. Like you could make a profit and have a successful business by doing a green thing if you follow through and you do the thing, right? So you can have your cake and eat it too. But the sad thing is a lot of times people are like, we'll just say that we're going to do the thing and then we're not going to do the thing.
Right.
And that's what we have to always be looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we'll find a way to take advantage of what you want in order to make you think we're doing the thing when actually behind the scenes we're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, look, dude, the environment is just a terrific example of this happening all the time, and we're not honest as environmentalists. On the other side of the equation, we are not honest either about what is going on and what the fastest, best, most effective solutions are going to be to solve the problems we want to solve. Yeah. And it's because we're at war. And it's stupid that we're at war.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is absolutely stupid. We should just look at the data, get together a logical solution, and then implement the damn solution. We'll all still be rich. There'll be plenty of production out there. There's plenty of money to be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, old Wiggins Von Mustache doesn't want to give up his friggin' clothing line.
Wiggins Von Mustache is our new villain that we will always refer to. I never want to forget that name, Wiggins Von Mustache. So I don't think we need to go into another subject. I think we wrap it right there because I think that was the truth bomb. That was it, baby. That was it. That was the truth bomb.
Truth bomb, baby. God, if you add a baby, everything gets better. Right?
Everything gets better. I mean, immediately you go greenwash, baby.
Greenwash, baby. I'm into it.
I'm into it.
I'm into that.
If I had said CO2 absorbing aprons, baby, you would be like,
give me one of those.
So today we learned that bees are fish. And CO2 aprons are a distraction for a clothing company. That's what we learned today.
That was good learning.
Yeah. So we have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Jacob's brain is constantly rebuilding itself.
Don't be environmentally gimmicky. And Veronica says,
Bye.
What a show.
Don't call now.
What a show that was.
Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.